my injury of choice, no tricks, just riding. Don't do that. That's close, right? Skateboarding is for everyone. Whether you're 10 years old or 40 years old, it is for you. But let's face it, when you get a little bit older, probably over the age of like 30, it hurts a lot more. And when you fall down, it's way harder to get back up than it was when you were 16 years old. Today, I'm sharing some injury prevention tips to help you skateboard longer. When you get older, you need to skate smarter, not harder. Okay, first things first, when you get started skating and you're older, see, I'm 41, so I'm well versed to talk about this. Your bones hurt, your muscles hurt, your joints hurt. But it doesn't matter really, even if you're young, you should also start out with a little stretching routine because it gets the blood flowing through the joints. And if you start out just totally stiff, that's not good. I'm really not a professional stretcher by any means, but I have been skateboarding for a long time, so I do have some knowledge in this subject, in this area. But someday I should actually link up with a professional coach who knows everything about the body and all the muscles, and they could teach us like a really professional routine. Okay, so first off, I'm just gonna start by moving my arms, do some arm circles, and just get that blood flowing. Once you start feeling, you'll feel the blood flowing through the joints, and it definitely helps a lot. And then the legs. Per my understanding, you want to do dynamic stretching, which is stretching that causes movement. That's stretching that's dealing with movement, right? Rather than a static stretch where if you're just going like this. From my understanding, you don't want to do that pre-skating. You want to do that stretch after you're done skating because your muscles are not warmed up, the blood is not flowing through them, etc. Which that idea, it always made sense to me. So there we go. Some leg kicks up and down. I don't know if you follow my daily skateboard lesson series, you see I start every single lesson with stretching. Just stretch those legs, get it kicking. The other thing that this helps with, I find, is your balance. See, I'm just coming off of an ankle injury on this ankle right here, and I can already tell my balance is not what it was prior to that injury. So I need to actually do this every day and work on it. Or my left foot, my balance is not as good. If you're doing this and you're not an avid skateboarder, you might need to hold on to something just to do this. So we got the blood moving through the knees, down to the ankles a little bit. We got the arms, the shoulders. We want to do a little bit on the hips too. So we're gonna stand like that. You don't have to touch your toes. I definitely cannot touch my toes.
Try it.
Okay. Ow! That is so painful right there. I should probably do a series where I actually just take care of my body and stretch it to the point where I can touch my toes. Touch my toes and do the splits. Leave it in the comments below if that's what you want me to do. Okay, then my body's a little warmer. I'm gonna say the other thing that's really important is depending on the temperature. Today, in San Francisco, sunny San Francisco, it's pretty nice. Not too cold, not too hot. But the colder it is, the more you're gonna need to warm up your muscles and stretch out. So then from there, the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna just push around. Just ride. Just get on your board and ride. Woo! No tricks, just riding. Just give some pushes, you can do some kick turns. This is also how I feel a person should learn how to skateboard. I feel like you should really master how the board feels, how it turns, kick turns, before you try any tricks. If you're not good at riding, don't even bother trying to start on tricks. This will really, really, really help you learn. If you guys have been following my videos for a while, you know I'm a huge proponent of that. So my injury of choice, talking about injuries, has been ankles. I think I have probably sprained this ankle upwards of 10 times, and I don't wear a brace. Sometimes people injure their ankle really bad and they wear a brace from that point forward. I don't. Maybe that's because I'm stupid. Maybe that's because I'm smart. I don't know. I actually don't know. I should get with a doctor. But in my opinion thoroughly labeled as such, if you need medical attention, just talk to a doctor. They know. But I don't want to have to rely on an external thing. So if my muscle gets torn, I want to rebuild that muscle. So in rebuilding that muscle, it's really important that you do exercise and that you do work out the muscle. So you can do circles with your big toe, circles in both directions. The other thing that helps with ankles a lot is you do the ABCs. So just spell it out with your big toe. A, B, C, D, E, all the way through the alphabet. And by the end of that, your ankle muscles should feel some degree of like, oh, we're really working there. We're really working. The other ankle is the ankle exercise. You can stand at a wall, hold onto the wall, and then just go like this, up and down. This is what I should have been doing this whole time while I'm healing my ankle. Well, okay. Another thing, your ankle gets injured. See your doctor. Make sure it's fully healed before you start putting pressure, stress, tension on that ankle. Do physical therapy with a physical therapist. So my ankle at this point, I don't have any pain. If I had pain, I wouldn't be doing this. So then we can just lift that ankle up in the air. So now at this point, I'm like, okay, ankle feeling pretty good. But what you want to get to is you want to get to a point where your muscles are very strong. See, when you get injured, you're going to tear that muscle or strain or stretch it, and it's going to make that muscle weak. Right now, because I'm just coming off an ankle injury, my right foot muscle feels very weak. Like I feel like I can't really do a proper ollie where I'm actually just pushing that foot up and forward because it would create some strain on that. Like I felt a little bit of pain there, which normally it would be no pain, zero pain. But if and when I do the proper workouts, I will get back to a point where there's absolutely no pain. In fact, my ankle could be stronger than it was before because I'm building more muscle than I had prior. And that's the point that I need to get to, and that's why these stretches are important. Okay, the next thing that you need to know in your injury prevention journey is how to fall. No matter how careful you are, no matter how much you learn the tricks in the correct order, but that does really, really, really help. And no matter how many helmets you're wearing, which you should wear a helmet, elbow pads, knee pads, etc., you do need to know how to fall. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a master class right now in how to fall. No matter what, you're going to fall. Just understand that. So when you're riding your board, you could hit a rock and you know you're going down. You're going down like this. And if you go straight to the ground and you try and stop yourself with an arm, like you put out your arm and you try to go like that, well, where does all this weight and all this pressure of this, how much do I weigh? Probably like 170, 180, I have no idea. But all of that weight plus the forward momentum of how fast you were going now is landing right where? It's all going to this bone right here, right on my wrist. Or if I hit it with my elbow, it's all going right there. So if I hold my arm out, you hit the pressure point of all that weight, all that forward momentum, boom. When I broke my foot, that's what happened. I was jumping off of my board and I landed like this, and the entire weight of my body all focused in on one bone right there. And that bone snapped completely in half and far away enough from itself that I had to have surgery to put it back together and put 2 screws. It was like one of those freak accidents. As your forward momentum is going, you want to keep that forward momentum going as well as possible without trying to stop yourself. Your initial reaction is going to be, oh my gosh, stop myself. You don't want to do that. You want to let it go, meaning you want to roll. So if you're going to go, instead of putting your arms out, you're going to hold them in and you're going to roll. So you're going to roll on the ground. So if you're going really fast, that might be several rolls. If you're going really slow, it's not even going to be a roll. And again, you have to sort of practice this because when you fall, you're not really thinking. You just have an initial reaction to, oh, put out your arm. And then boom, you break your arm, you break your wrist, you break your foot, whatever it is. Sometimes it's a total freak accident. There's nothing you could have done and it just occurred and it just happened really fast. But the more you know and the more you practice in advance, the better the scenario is going to be that you can get out of a difficult situation. So you're rolling forward, you need to fall. The most ungraceful fall ever, but it is what it is. So you prep for that, you know. So that's the key there. Your momentum is going. If you're going to roll, tuck your arms in and let it roll. You might hit some pressure on your hip or whatever, but this is still going to be better than putting out one of your limbs and breaking a bone there. It's very key, very vital. So practice that. Practice as you go down and you can know, like in a certain scenario, what's going to occur. If you're skating a ramp, you should be wearing knee pads, and before you start trying the trick that you're trying, practice sliding on your knees. Practice sliding on your knees, and then when you go up, you can practice jumping off. when I was learning how to skate vert, I always knew, how do I get out of this? It sort of started to mess with me because it made it really hard for me to commit to the trick in the end, but I was always able to get out. So I would go up, jump into the rock for the rock to fakie, and I would jump off the board and I would knee slide in. So I always had a way out, you see, and that really, really helped me both land the trick and get to the point where I could land it, but also it helped on the injury prevention a lot. Okay, injury prevention isn't just about how to fall, but you also have to be smart with your equipment as well. If you're going to be a brand new skater and you're just getting started, a wider board can give you more space to ride. It can make it easier. But if you're ready to start doing flip tricks, a wider board can be a little bit harder, a little bit more cumbersome to flip. So as a beginner, you might want to start out with a wider board, and then as you get to the point where you're ready to start doing the more difficult tricks, you might want to test some other people's boards and slim it down, or you might just be able to do that kickflip on that big 8.5, 9-inch monster board. That could be good too. But as a beginner skater, depending on your age, height, and everything, pick a board that it feels like a good width to where you have plenty of space. Another thing is on the wheels. Depending on your terrain, if you have a nice smooth ground, nice smooth skate park, you could kind of use whatever wheels. But if you are learning to skate in a rougher parking lot, bigger, softer wheels can make it easier for you, and it's just a nice, softer, smoother ride. If all you're doing is riding a skateboard, let's say you're riding it around the campus, get a nice big soft wheels and just roll. Just cruise and have fun. The other part of these things that I'm telling you about the equipment, if you have really hard wheels and you're skating on rough ground, it will wear you out. You will get tired faster. And one of the rules that I have when I'm skateboarding is I don't skateboard, I specifically don't try a really hard trick when I am tired or hungry, because almost all of my injuries occurred in that time period. It just happened to be that way. Like, I'd been skating all day, I'd done tons of tricks, and now I'm at the very end of it. I haven't eaten all day, I'm tired, my body is physically exhausted. And then the last time I had like a really, really bad, well, other than this recent broken foot, when I broke my other foot on the other side really bad, I was just doing a 360 flip off a curb. It was a trick that I could do with my eyes closed anywhere in pitch black. I could land it, and I just wasn't quite paying attention. I was exhausted. My body was physically tired, and then boom, one slip, bam, hit the ground. I actually broke the foot on this side and this side because I hit it so hard that my muscles pulled and broke the ankle, and then my muscles on the other side tried to correct it and pulled and broke the foot on the other side. And just a tray flip, which I've done a million times. So there you go. It's another piece of advice to help on your injury prevention. Another piece of advice that I can give you on the injury prevention that is probably the key, most important piece of advice is you need to take it step by step. Go as slow as you need to in your learning process specifically. So if you skated 20 years ago, don't just get right back on the board and try to do a kickflip. Don't do that. Don't get right back on the board and try and drop in the bowl that you dropped into 20 years ago. That's a bad idea. Build your way up to that. A huge part of the learning process on skateboarding is starting from the very beginning, very rock bottom basics. I have seen a lot of comments of people saying, Aaron, I haven't skated in 15 years and I'm getting back into it and I'm using your system and I'm learning from the very basics forward, and it's making all the difference. So you want to start out with just riding, then doing ollies, frontside 180s, backside 180s, pop shove, front shove, heel flip, kick flip is the exact sequence of tricks, and you're building your way up. This is going to help with the injuries so much because you're building your confidence, you know where you're going, you're not taking it too fast, and you're also building your muscles at the same time. So with each of those tricks, it's going to take a lot of practice. You're building your muscles, your muscle memory, and you're really getting set up to have success and longevity on the board. Okay, so after you've got warmed up, you're ready, you're prepped, you know how to fall, you're getting ready, have fun skating. Start out by just doing all of the most basic things and then build your way up from there, and always end your session on an improvement. That is very, very important, both mentally and physically. you want to end on an improvement so that the next day you go to grab your board, you're like, yes, I can do this. My last session was awesome. Let's have another awesome session and let's keep rolling. After your session, it's very important that you take care of your body and we do some form of a, cool down. You can walk it off a little bit. Just make sure that you're rolling, you're moving your arms, you're continuing to move those muscles. And then this is where you can get into the static stretches. This one I find very helpful. You just hold your foot up like that. This also can help improve your balance because you're practicing just on the one foot. If you can't just pull your foot up and do that, hold on to something. Now let's see, this will be interesting because I'm stretching this muscle, but also this foot, which is the foot that I just sprained my ankle. I'm testing the muscles a little bit and I can already tell you it's a little bit weak. Another exercise that the physical therapist gave me that you could do afterwards is you close your eyes on one foot. You have your eyes open, it's really easy, but once you close your eyes, like I can feel my foot like adjusting and in order to adjust and not fall, I have to use those muscles. By closing your eyes for a minute and standing there, you should stand there with a pole or a wall or something so you don't actually fall. But this, with your eyes closed, can help those muscles. See, I'm so weak and my left foot is so much worse, which is interesting. It's interesting. You can also do, some of these are really good. As gone over, I cannot touch my toes. That's close, right? Closer than the beginning of the video? Okay, I'm gonna keep working on that. No, what do you mean? That's as far as it goes. I'm a stiff old man. Another one is this one, kind of similar to the one that I did when I was standing up. Now we're doing the static stretches. We're just stretching those muscles. You can go both sides. Maybe I'll start a yoga workout channel as well while we're at it. And then another one is in my experience, my lower back gets really stiff. And my understanding, which may or may not be correct, is there's a muscle that goes right here. I believe it's called the psoas muscle, PSOAS or something like that. And it goes from your hips, or like from your legs / hips or whatever, essentially up to your core / lower back. And this, from my understanding, is the muscle that you use to jump. So in skateboarding, you're rolling around doing a bunch of all these kickflips, whatever. You're basically jumping like that, like a little frog that's running around just doing little jumps. And this muscle gets really tight, which can create some pain in your lower back. So there's one point where I was like, I have so much pain in my lower back, it's excruciating. And I kept going to chiropractors and doing inversion tables. And then guess what I found out? It was actually kidney stones. I had kidney stones. So go to the doctor and do what they say. But regardless, that was just my fun life story for you. But regardless, this stretch right here, you really feel it. It really hurts right there. Maybe hurts is the wrong word. Stretch is so good that it hurts in a good way. So after the skate sesh, you really can work that body. Another thing that I found really helpful is Epsom salt, like a really good Epsom salt soak. Whenever I injure my foot, like when I had my ankle injury and it was just fresh, I would do a hot Epsom salt soak followed by an ice soak. Ice for 6 minutes, like water filled with ice. Very painful, but then you can put it back in the hot water afterwards and kind of go back and forth between hot and cold. The other thing is you need to eat good food, try and eat healthy food, as healthy as possible. I know I'm speaking to people who, when I was a skater, you know what my meal was, Chloe? 4 McChicken sandwiches and an orange soda. At McDonald's, the McChicken sandwich was $1. You can get 4 of them for $4, and then you get an orange soda for another $1. So for $5, you get 4 McChickens and an orange soda. But at the age of 41 years old, if I ate 4 McChickens and an orange soda right now, I would probably die. So I have this giant bottle of water that is filled with cold water, and I have in the water some amino acids that is an essential building block to help your muscles rebuild themselves. So as you're skateboarding, you are stretching muscles, and then by eating good protein and good food and by drinking lots of water, staying hydrated, your body is able to rebuild those muscles and continue to move. As you get older, especially over your 40s, it's even more important to take extra special care of your body. But if you're watching this video and you're 16, start now. Do not eat the McChickens, do not eat the orange soda, drink water, eat good protein, take care of yourself. Trust me, when you're 41 years old, still out here trying to ride a skateboard, you're gonna be really thankful that you took care of your body early on. And you'll have these other people being like, oh, it's so painful. And you'll be like, what are you talking about? It's not painful at all. All right, so that's some injury prevention tips. I hope this helped you guys. I hope you guys learned something. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment below. And you, yes you, learn to ride a skateboard. We got everything you need at brailleskateboarding.com.